Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Haribol. So, Nama Niki, the Bhakti Tattva Viveka, we have come for this Bhakti Tattva Viveka, analysis of the nature of Bhakti by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yesterday, we were very specially, we were going inside this third chapter. It's so easy, this third chapter, not like second chapter. Second chapter is very intricate. So this third chapter is okay. So we will, we have some more. So if we can finish today, some more pages are there. If we can, by Krishna's mercy, we can finish today, this third chapter. Then only one chapter is there. Only 4 chapters in Bhakti Tattva Viveka, in which we are in the third chapter now. If we finish this third chapter, we have only one more chapter, 4th chapter. That's all. Okay. Hare Krishna. We'll start with our prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pricharine Nindishesha Yavadi Pashata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Buddha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are going for a rose garden for offering some flowers for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Just a minute. Okay, very nice, no? So we can offer these flowers, the roses for Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur and for Bhakti Tattva Viveka. For Gaunitai, we are going for the rose garden, that is yellow color rose garden. Very nice yellow flowers and pink color flowers dancing in the air. So those flowers we are offering for Gaunitai. And here for Gaunitai, we have something very special. I think this is sapota. I don't know what's happening. Just a minute. Trying to open it, then immediately the next page comes. I think there is no music or video. This is just a picture. That's what it's not going. This is I think it's sapota. Or you know what is this fruits? I feel it is sapota. If somebody knows that it is something else, please tell me. So all the sapotas we will offer for Gaunitai with Manjari Tulasi, and then we'll go for plums. Plums will be in a light pink color. That's what I was wondering. Maybe in this color also plums are there. I don't know. Anyway, we will offer these fruits for our Gaunitai and take their blessings. And here for Radha and Krishna, we are going to this rose garden. Nice, no? Nice flowers. Again, we can go, we can offer. So we can offer this for our Krishna, who is on dancing on top of Kaliya. So in this scene only, he was trying to capture and steal the hearts of the gopis. So here for Radha and Krishna, we have this thali food, rice, papad, payas, then sabji, beetroot sabji, rasam, sambar, then aviyal, then one sour dish. So this is also like they say that puli kolambu or karambu in Tamil. So like this we have very nice offerings. So we can offer all these things for these beautiful deities, Radha and Krishna. Small deities but very beautiful deities. For Radha and Krishna here, Katori Chat. Katori Chat. Okay. So this is Katori Chat. We have to offer this like that only, Katori Chat. Video. It's not happening. No, we are only able to see the Katori Chat. It's not playing. So previous one. Okay.
Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swaganna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sanghan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika
Fantastic, no? Very nicely, our devotees has made with this beautiful song. So this is our previous Acharya songs, and this is so nicely with all love and devotion. This offering has been done with this song of the previous Acharya. Can we go through once more? So everything we have put Manjari Tulasi, and we are offering this for our Radha and Krishna very, very beautifully. So we can go there and we can see this big.
Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swaganna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sanghan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhuryali Pratikshana Swadanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam.
So nice, wonderful, very nice devotional, very wonderful devotion. With all devotion, with this song we can Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Guru actually, all the four items, all the four types of taste, the Guru is offering all the items with these four types of taste for Radha and Krishna, and he is very very happy when all the devotees are taking it. Okay, so when this is the case of the Guru. So Chaturvidashri Bhagavat Prasada Swadhanna Truptan Haribhakta Sangat. So he's with all satisfaction, he's taking this with all the devotees. In the Sangha of all the devotees, Guru is taking all these items. So after offering for Krishna, all these four types of tasty things. Okay, so nice now that vada and chutney and water, everything is pickles, everything is fantastic. So the sabji also, some uh, more sabji has come now, and vada chutney has come. So all these items are wonderful items. We can offer this with all love for Radha and Krishna, and then we can go for this katori chaat. So this is katori chaat. You very closely look into the katori chaat, means that the katori itself is like a pani puri. Can you see that? It's a pani puri which is made of katori. In that they have half the puri they have made, and in that we have in that they have put all this some fruits and some vegetables and white sauce, cheese, and then this is Radha and Krishna looking at each other. So this is wonderful, and this Katuri chaat is also wonderful for them. So we offer all these things for them. So now for our Srila Prabhupada ki jai, our Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we have made all these rotis, Oh my God, it was muted, so I did not know, so I was speaking. So this is maple syrup sugar juice. We will offer for our His Holiness Banu Swami Maharaj ki jai. So what we are going to add it is that we will add this apricots. This is fresh apricot juice. So we have to put ice, apricots, maple syrup, and mint, water. That's it. We have to mix it in a mixie, and then the maple syrup juice is ready. So this is made up of apricots. His Holiness Banu Swami Maharaj ki jai. Ekadasi masal dosa. So this is Ekadasi masal dosa. We can offer for our Banu Swami Maharaj. So on Ekadashi days, for Radha and Krishna, we have to offer grains. And for our gurus, we have to offer Ekadashi items. And for Gaunita also, non-grains we have to offer. So for Krishna, we can offer grains. Okay, that's important. On Ekadashi day, we will offer some grains items for our Krishna. No sound. Can you hear me speaking? Can you hear me speaking? Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear me speaking? Okay. So here actually there is no music in this Ekadasi Masal Dosa. There is no music. This is not a video. We have just offered for our Banu Swami Maharaj. So here for our Maharaj lotus sweet, we have these flowers. We are going for this flower garden. We will offer these flowers for Maharaj. We have already seen. First stage is pure bhakti, first stage sadhana bhakti, second stage bhava bhakti, then third stage prema bhakti. So sadhana bhakti, 2 qualities, bhava bhakti, 4 qualities, prema bhakti, 6 qualities. So what are the 6 qualities? Kleshagni, Subhada, Moksha Laguta Kriti, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Krishna Ashni. These are the 6 qualities in prema. So now papam, kuta, bija, prarabdha, prarabdha. So this is a destruction of suffering. First quality, kleshagni. In this jiva after the desire is jumping to do full activity. No, the action is stage bija. Krishna. Again, there was an internet problem. I don't know what is happening. Just a minute. So, feeble one. Okay, now I don't think there will be problem because I got connected with another internet connection. Okay, now we'll go. Okay, now Kuta. Third stage is sinful activity. He's jumping into a sinful activity and into an action. After that, the reaction starts. When the reaction starts, it's in Kutta, Bija. Maybe that Bija or somewhere in Sastras I saw Bija Kutta. In somewhere Sastras I saw Kutta Bija. So I myself is confused because in two different books, two different stages it is given, like, one is starting from Kutta Bija, one is giving Bija Kutta, Aprarabdha Prarabdha. So Aprarabdha Prarabdha is okay. So we don't know what is first. We have to ask Maharaj which will come first, Bija or Kutta. Okay, so if it is a Kutta, then Bija means the seed form of karma or reaction. Kutta, no form or karma, reaction begins. This is what in one book I saw. So if it is Bija and Kutta, Kutta must be bigger than the seed form. So Aprarabdha, causing future suffering. This is in shuttle form. Seventh stage, Prarabdha, causing suffering in this life. It is now ready to manifest at any moment in full form. This is Prarabdha, causing suffering in this life. It is now ready to manifest at any moment in full form. So, okay. So now, these are all yesterday we finished. Just we are going through it, revision. Prarabdha karma. So we have two Prarabdha karmas, Punya Prarabdha karma and Papa Prarabdha karma. So Punya Prarabdha karma, because of Punya Prarabdha karma, we can be born as Brahmana, we can be born in a wealthy family, we can have beauty. But sinful Prarabdha karma means we will be born as a Yavana, born as in a poor family, not having beauty. All these are Prarabdha karma, two varieties of Prarabdha karma, the reactions for the Prarabdha karma. Because it is happening in this life, it is called Prarabdha karma. Okay, so yesterday we saw only these points, Jnana and Karma. So we saw Jnana and Karma, and then Bhakti. In Jnana and Karma, we saw Jnana destroys Aprarabdha karma only. But Bhakti destroys Prarabdha as well as Aprarabdha reaction. What is Prarabdha? What is Aprarabdha? Aprarabdha means, Aprarabdha karma means it will come only in the next lifetime or future lifetimes. Prarabdha karma means in this lifetime it will come. This is Prarabdha. So if we follow Jnana Yoga, that too very skillfully, if we do Jnana Yoga, then only we can destroy only that too, only Aprarabdha karma, not Prarabdha karma. According to Jnana scriptures, one must suffer Prarabdha karmas unavoidably. According to Jnana scriptures, one must suffer Prarabdha karmas unavoidably. So, according to Jnana Yoga, we have to go through the sufferings of Prarabdha karma. No chance to to escape from Prarabdha karmas. This is in Jnana Yoga. But in Bhakti Yoga, we can get out of Prarabdha karma also. That is, in this lifetime itself, even being a Yavana, being born as a Yavana or in a poor family or not beauty, not like, or with any problems of Prarabdha karma, then also the person, if he takes out just one name of Krishna, chants the name or remembers Krishna or hears about Krishna, then what will happen? He can become what he can become. He can become a Brahmana who can do yajna. He will get that qualification in this birth itself. So his Prarabdha karma cannot do anything in his case, isn't it? So that's how it's proved. It is challengeably proved that Prarabdha karma can be destroyed by doing Bhakti Yoga. That means this is openly told. Okay, you are born in a very low family, but you are doing devotion. So you are accepted by the devotees as a Brahmana. You can do, you can chant and you can do yajnas. You are qualified for that. All that we are saying. That means the prarabdha karma, which is just going to happen, like an accident or like a very dangerous thing, that may also happen in the prarabdha karma. Any moment, anything can happen. But we are a devotee. The Bhakti Yoga, the Bhakti itself will take care of the prarabdha karma. The next moment, what's supposed to happen, that may not happen. That will not happen. And maybe if we are supposed to die in an accident today because of our prarabdha karma, this is Maharaj himself told, and Guru Maharaj also told in the class about this, because he has become a devotee, that will be nullified by giving the same fine he will get, but in dream, in the dream. So he will get in the dream, he will get an accident, he will be killed, but he will experience that pain in the dream. That's it. So like this, the prarabdha karma, for the namesake, it will come and go for the devotee. Okay, so it is without saying it goes that prarabdha karma of a devotee will be taken care strongly or surely by Krishna. The low birth, which is a prarabdha karma, is destroyed by Bhakti. That means the next accident also will be taken care by Bhakti. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Lord, or hears about his pastime, or offers him obeisances, or even remember him. For those engaged in Bhakti to the Lord, step by step, the aprarabdha, kutta, bija, prarabdha karmas are destroyed. Everything is destroyed, not only prarabdha karma, but the step, whatever we have, which is going to fructify and come next lifetime, no? What karmas are there in the form of kutta, what karmas are there in the form of bija, what karmas are there in us as in aprarabdha and prarabdha, all the karmas will be destroyed for if we do pure devotional service. Okay, Bhagavatam also explains that prarabdha karma is destroyed by bhakti. So this is the point. Yesterday we studied all these points. Then fourth point of jnana, atonements are prescribed in jnana and karma for the sin which one has committed. So in jnana yoga, karma yoga, atonements means parigaram. The parigaram is recommended in Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. But in Bhakti Yoga, no need to do parigaram, no need to do atonements. Without atonements, just by doing devotional services, all our karmas will go away. Seed of sin or the desire to commit sin in the heart cannot be destroyed by karma or jnana. So the desire part will not go, no? But the desire part will go away when we do Bhakti Yoga. That's the ignorance itself will be taken away, vanished. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. So, although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, we may do some austerity, charity, vows, and many methods, but these pious activities, they cannot uproot our desires, no material desires. They cannot uproot our material desires in our heart, no. But Bhakti Yoga, it can very easily remove our avidya and uproot our material desires. Bhakti destroys the seed of sin, whereas Karma Yoga cannot. So, desire to commit sin in the heart is called the seed of sin. Seed of sin, what is that seed of sin? Seed of sin means desire. This is destroyed by bhakti. The desire part itself is destroyed by bhakti. One cannot destroy the seed of sin except by the process of bhakti. One cannot destroy the seed of sin except by the process of bhakti. only by the process of bhakti, one can destroy that desire, seed of sin. If one serves the lotus feet of the Lord, he is immediately freed from all such contamination. If one serves the lotus feet of the Lord, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. So this is the important point. If one serves the lotus feet of the Lord. So we have to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. When Bhakti Devi resides in the heart, all sinful desires as well as pious desires are removed. So only when we go through the through Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Devi will come and stay in our heart, and she will remove all our desires for doing pious activity or for doing sinful activity. Any desire, anything. No? We may desire to go to Swargalaga. It's about punya. Then Bhakti Devi can completely take away this, destroy this desire. This is only punya, but still that is also not good for us because we will come back again. That's why Bhakti Devi will remove all the desires, whether it is punya desire or papa desire, anything she will remove. Jnana alone cannot destroy ignorance. So we have to mix Krishna consciousness. We have to mix Bhakti Yoga with Jnana Yoga. Then only the Jnana alone it cannot destroy ignorance. Alone it cannot do. But when we mix it with when we mix Jnana Yoga with Bhakti, then that can destroy ignorance. The karmis cannot very easily overcome the knot of ignorance, carrying unlimited impressions of karma, tied tightly by action. So karmis cannot, that is why the karma yoga people, karmis, they cannot immediately, easily, they cannot overcome this ignorance because that karma impression is there. So tightly it is bonding them. So they are just jumping into action. Because this is a ninth point, you see. Because this is very difficult, the empty-minded non-devotees, jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the flow of sense activities, cannot do so. Okay, because it's very difficult, the empty-minded non-devotees, jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the flow of sense activities, cannot do so. Although non-devotees think that they are liberated and become jivan muktas, after severe austerities and penances, they fall down from their position of imagining the superiority because they have no regard for the lotus feet of you and your devotees. Although non-devotees think that they are liberated, so they are thinking they are vimuktamanina. But actually these jivan muktas who say and become jivan muktas, they think they are vimuktamanina, they are liberated, they have become jivan muktas. Like this, the non-devotees think. After severe austerities and penances, they think like this, but they fall down from their position of imagining the superiority. So they are only imagining the superiority because they have no regard for the lotus feet of you and your devotees. Because they have no regard for the lotus feet of you and your devotees. Okay, so that's a problem. They don't have a regard for Krishna. They don't have regard for Bhakti Yoga and Bhakti. They don't respect that. They don't respect Krishna's lotus feet or they don't respect devotee. Bhakti destroys ignorance. As a forest fire burns up a female snake demon, supreme devotion to the Lord quickly burns up avidya completely by the knowledge which accompanies bhakti. As a forest fire burns up a female snake demon, supreme devotion to the Lord quickly burns up avidya completely by the knowledge which accompanies bhakti. The devotees, by doing service to the Lord, can very easily overcome the knot of ignorance, carrying unlimited impressions of karma tied tightly by action. The devotees, by doing service to the Lord, can very easily overcome the knot of ignorance. So devotees can very easily come out of ignorance. Ariyame. In Tamil, we call it as Ariyame. So this ignorance part, the devotees can very easily come out, carrying unlimited impressions of karma, tied tightly by action. So all this we can overcome. This by doing devotion for the Lord. Okay, now we'll go for today's topic. I'm sorry, I was muted. I did not notice. Okay. Okay. Ignorance is the origin of suffering. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants to teach us about how this ignorance has become the origin. That is the origin for all our suffering. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking to us. Before how many years? Bhaktivinoda Thakur was before 200 years or before 300 years, we can say. So he's speaking to us after 300 years. Oh, intimate devotees. He's calling you, he's calling me, he's calling everybody. Oh, intimate devotees, hearing about ignorance, you will want to know about the real nature of ignorance. Hearing about ignorance, devotees, you must be wanting to know about ignorance. Now I will teach you. This is what Srila Prabhupada is talking to us. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking to us. I will just speak a few words about this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, now I will speak a few words about ignorance. Krishna has unlimited Shaktis. We are familiar with three: Chit Shakti, Achit Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. So this Chit Shakti and Tatastha Shakti is the Jiva Shakti, another name. And Maya Shakti is Achit Shakti. Okay. So from the Chit Shakti arise the laws about pastimes and paraphernalia. So from the Chit Shakti arise the laws about pastimes and paraphernalia. It is also called the Swarup Shakti. From the Jiva Shakti, unlimited Jivas appear. The Jiva is by nature a pure conscious entity, but because it is incomplete, it has an inclination for Maya. From the Jiva Shakti, unlimited Jivas appear. So this is Tatastha Shakti. We have seen all this. So from Tatastha Shakti, unlimited Jivas are coming. The Jiva is by nature a pure conscious entity. The Jiva is by nature a pure conscious entity. But because it is incomplete, it has an inclination for Maya. So the Jiva is by nature a pure conscious entity. So now we are accepting that Jiva is also a pure conscious, pure entity. Okay, conscious entity. But because it is incomplete, it has an inclination for Maya. So it has got the pure consciousness. All Krishna's qualities, 50 qualities are there, but very little qualities are there. That is why it's incomplete. That's why this Jiva is has an inclination to associate with Maya. Okay, that's why we should be very, very careful. The Jiva is associating with Maya. So it becomes attached to Maya. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. By its desire, it becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. That is the difference between bondage and liberation for the Jiva. It becomes attached to Maya. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. By its desire, it becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. So how this jiva, which is incomplete, can become freed from Maya and become favorable for Krishna and do Krishna consciousness? It becomes attached to Maya. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. Okay. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna. So, when it becomes averse to Krishna, when that avidya, because of avidya, they develop the desire. That is seed of sin. The desire is called seed of sin. Because of avidya, he is developing desire. Because of desire, he is falling under the control of Maya. And because of he is falling under the control of Maya, he becomes averse to Krishna. So by its desire, the jiva becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. That is the difference between bondage and liberation for the jiva. Maya has two powers, ignorance and knowledge. The jiva in its conditioned state overcome by Maya has its swarupa covered by ignorance and gives up identity with its spiritual nature arising from pure knowledge. Can we make a workshop this? It's very important. We can make this workshop. Okay, I'll make this workshop. So it's very easy. We'll make it. When we make the workshop, we will understand everything very nicely. It becomes attached to Maya. So it by its desire. Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti or Tatastha Shakti. Okay, Jiva Shakti or Tatastha Shakti. From Krishna's Jiva Shakti or Tatastha Shakti, the jivas come. Okay, it's important. This Jiva Shakti or Tatastha Shakti. So, jivas are coming from Jiva Shakti. Jivas are coming. Jivas. So, we can write here jivas. I will put it here jivas. Okay, jivas. From Jiva Shakti, jivas are coming. Okay, from Jiva Shakti, jivas are coming. Okay, next. By its desire, it becomes averse to Krishna. And so jivas, it becomes attached to Maya. So jivas has two powers, ignorance. Jivas has two powers, ignorance and knowledge. We have two jivas, two types of jivas. Two types of jivas. Okay. Jivas are coming. Two types of jivas. What are the two types of jivas? What are the two types of jivas? One is with the desire. Jivas in ignorance. jivas in ignorance or by its desire. Jivas in ignorance. So the jivas in ignorance, the jivas in ignorance, the jivas in ignorance by its desire. What it is doing? Let me make it big. The jivas in ignorance by its desire, becomes ours to Krishna, becomes ours to Krishna, becomes ours to Krishna, and falls under the control of Maya. This is what we have to copy and put it here. Okay, so jivas, we can make it little smaller. Jivas in ignorance, by its desire, becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. Okay, this is the first point. The jivas in ignorance is the first point. Okay, second point is by its desire. By its desire, this is the second point. Becomes ours to Krishna is the third point. Ours to Krishna, that is third point. Becomes ours to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. And we can put and here. And falls under the control of Maya is a fourth point. This is the problem. The jiva in ignorance by its desire becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. This is one type of jiva. Okay? Jiva in ignorance. Next. Okay, change it. So this is one kind of jiva, and the next kind of jiva, that is a difference between bondage and liberation for the jiva. One more point is that, fifth point, which will fall into bondage. Which jiva will, this jiva will fall into bondage. This jiva, we can put this jiva. Will fall into bondage. Okay, this is the first type of jiva. Then second type of jiva. Second type of jiva, by its desire, becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. This is another type of Maya, another type of Jiva. This is by its desire, it becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna and becomes favorable to Krishna. This is one more type of Jiva. So this Jiva is not in ignorance, in Jiva in knowledge. Jiva with knowledge. Jiva with knowledge. Jiva with knowledge. This is the second point. By its desire, becomes completely independent. Third point, independent of Maya. This is by its desire, becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. It's one more type of Jiva. This Jiva is like this. Jiva with knowledge. Point one, Jiva with knowledge. Point one. Then this is a different desire. So by its desire, it becomes completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. So both are happening only by desire. Okay, desire. And then what more they are doing? This Jiva, that is a difference between liberation. So, and gets liberated. This Jiva becomes liberated. But this Jiva will fall into bondage. This Jiva becomes liberated. So the Jiva in its conditioned state overcome by Maya has its Swarupa, conditioned state overcome by Maya, was to control, falls under the control of Maya. So one more point is also there. It's conditioned state. This Jiva, conditioned state. In conditioned state, fall into bondage. Because the Jiva is in a conditioned state, fall into bondage. It will fall into bondage. This is the sixth point. This is conditioned Jiva. Okay. Has its Swarupa covered by ignorance. This Jiva, this Jiva is covered by ignorance. This Jiva's Swarupa is covered by ignorance. Covered by ignorance. So this Jiva's Swarupa, this Jiva's Swarupa is covered by ignorance, by its desire, becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. So nice. Now all the points we are getting here. This Jiva Swarupa itself is in problem. So this Jiva Swarupa is covered by ignorance. Why? Because of its desire. Covered by ignorance. covered by ignorance. Why? Because of its desire. Because of its desire. Becomes ours to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. This jiva in conditioned state will fall into bondage. So 6 points we learned came from this. Overcome has its swarupa covered by ignorance and gives up identity with its spiritual nature arising from pure knowledge. So one more thing also they are saying, like, and gives up identity with its spiritual and gives up identity with its spiritual nature arising from pure knowledge. So there is one more point, that is the 7th point. So we will be adding this point also. And gives up identity with his spiritual nature, arising from pure knowledge. So pure knowledge is not there with this jiva. So it is giving its identity with the spiritual nature arising. The spiritual nature will come from pure knowledge. So the spiritual nature is not this identity, this jiva is coming out. That's why. So we will take out this now. Because we have arrived all the points. It becomes okay. We will remove everything. We have arrived with all the points. So many points. Okay. So now we are clear, no? From Jiva Shakti or Tata Shakti, Jivas are coming from Jiva. There are 2 types of Jivas. Jivas are coming from Jiva. 2 types of Jivas are 2 types of Jivas. 2 types of Jivas are coming. Two types of Jivas. 2 types of Jivas are coming. So 2 types of Jivas are coming. From Jiva Shakti, there are 2 types of Jivas. So, because there are 2 types of Jivas are coming, these 2 types is one is the Swarupa is covered by ignorance. The Jiva with knowledge, by its desire, becomes completely independent of Maya. This is a different Jiva. Completely independent of Maya and becomes favorable to Krishna. This Jiva becomes liberated. But this Jiva Swarupa is covered by ignorance. This particular Jiva, no, in ignorance. Its Swarupa is covered by ignorance. That is also because of its desire. Becomes averse to Krishna and falls under the control of Maya. This Jiva in conditioned state will fall into body. Gives up identity with the spiritual nature arising from pure knowledge. Okay. So then this is this page. Now, it benefits the self with material elements which arise from ignorance. Bondage of ignorance produces the jiva's bound up condition. When the jiva becomes free of ignorance and destroys the upadhis, it becomes a liberated state. When the jiva becomes free of ignorance, this is important point, and destroys the upadhis, it becomes a liberated state. So this is what we have to add here. How this jiva became liberated? It is because what happened actually when the jiva becomes free of ignorance, then what will happen? And destroys the upadhis, it attains a liberated state. So the jiva becomes liberated. How it becomes liberated? When the jiva becomes free of ignorance, it can get liberated. Okay? So this is what is our... The next page is Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling about this, about the upadhis. What the upadhis, he's talking about the upadhis. Okay, so these are the 6 points for jiva, say the knowledge. Here it falls under the control of Maya. Here it becomes favorable to Krishna. Can you see that difference? It's so nice. This jiva in conditioned state, this jiva becomes liberated, will fall into bondage. But this jiva becomes free of ignorance. This is a 6th point. And this is a 7th point actually. 7th. We can 7th. Destroys the upadhis. Destroys the upadhis by destroying the upadhis and by destroying the upadhis, it attains a liberated state. It attains a liberated state. So we have got 7 points in both the things. So this one Maharaj is given. Actually, okay. When the jiva becomes free of ignorance, jiva becomes free of ignorance. That's it. Becomes free of ignorance. And by destroying the upadhis, it attains a liberated state. So many points we got here. It identifies the self with material elements which arise from ignorance. It identifies the self with material elements which arise from ignorance. So one more point here is it gives up identity with its spiritual nature, but it identifies the self with material elements which arise from ignorance. Bondage of ignorance produces the jiva's bound-up condition. So here gives up identity. Here we have, it identifies the self with material elements and which arise from ignorance, and gives up identity with its spiritual nature arising from pure knowledge. That's all. I've got so many points now. Nice. Some more I have to go up. Okay. So these are all the points we got for 2 types of jivas. This is in ignorance, jiva in ignorance. This is jiva with knowledge. That's all. Okay. So now, what more points we have left? Bondage of ignorance produces the jiva's bound up condition. So here also we can put that bound up condition. Will fall into bondage. Bondage is here it's been explained. Bondage of ignorance produces the jiva's bound up condition. Only falls under the control of false will fall into bondage by ignorance. That is there by ignorance. By ignorance. Will fall into bondage by ignorance. Okay. When the jiva becomes free of ignorance and destroys the upadhis, it attains a liberated state. Thus, ignorance is nothing. It is simply a particular function of maya which makes the jiva hear or which makes the jiva to make mistakes concerning his real nature. From ignorance arises the jiva's desire for action. From desire for action arise sinful and pious acts and their reactions. Ignorance is the origin of the jiva's suffering. Only bhakti is capable of destroying ignorance. Okay. So now we need to make one more picture of this, one more workshop of this, because there are only 7 points here. We have more points here. So we'll continue this in the next page. All this we finished actually in that Upadhi yeah. Thus ignorance is nothing. So ignorance is nothing. It's simply what is it? What is ignorance? You can even ask one question. What is ignorance? What is ignorance? Ignorance is nothing. Okay. Ignorance is nothing. It is simply a particular function of maya. It is simply a particular function of maya which makes the jiva to make mistake concerning his real nature. Jiva err means to make mistake. Make mistakes concerning his real nature. So ignorance is nothing. Number 1 point. Second point is it is simply a particular function. What is ignorance? Make it big. What is ignorance? It is simply a particular function of maya which makes the jiva to make mistakes concerning his real nature. Then third point is from ignorance arises the jiva's desire for action. Then next fourth point, from desire for action arise sinful and pious acts and their reactions. Then fifth, ignorance is the origin of the jiva's suffering. Only bhakti is capable of destroying ignorance. Okay, so many points. Ignorance is nothing. It is simply a particular function of maya which makes the jiva to make mistakes concerning his real nature. From ignorance arise the jiva's desire for action. From desire for action arise sinful and pious acts and their reactions. Then action and reaction, okay, arises from that desire. Then action arise sinful and pious acts. And the reaction is a fifth point. Reaction is fifth point. And their reactions. This is fifth point. Sixth point. This is seventh point. First is action, then reaction. From desire for action to desire. then action arises, then action, then action arise, then action arise as sinful or pious acts, and then reactions will appear. Reaction. Now action has come and reaction will appear. Ignorance is the origin of the jiva suffering. This is the so how ignorance is the origin of jiva suffering, that they have made us understood. Only bhakti is capable of destroying ignorance. So how can ignorance go? Only by bhakti ignorance can go. So like this, our Bhakti Tattva Thakur is very nicely speaking about ignorance. Next, karma can destroy sins. Jnana can destroy the desires, causing sin and piety. But bhakti completely uproots sin, the seed, and ignorance, the origin of desire. So this also we can put it here. This is one more point. We can copy it and put it here. Only bhakti can, okay. This is 8th point. You can write. Why only bhakti? Karma can destroy sins. Jnana can destroy the desires causing sin and piety. But bhakti, but this, we can put this as 7th point, and then we can put this as 8th point. But only bhakti is the 8th point. But only bhakti is capable of destroying ignorance. Bhakti completely uproots sin. What does the bhakti do? Bhakti completely uproots sin. Then the seed of sin, desire for sin or piety, the seed uproots sin, the seed and ignorance, the origin of desire. So there are only three stages. First stage is not first stage, sin. Then second, they have given as sin, seed of sin. That is desire. Desire to sin. Desire. Seed of sin is desire. Then third, sin, desire, then seed of sin. Then third is, one more point is that ignorance. All the three things bhakti can remove. All the three things it can remove. It can remove sin, it can remove seed of sin, that is desire also it can remove, and then ignorance also it can remove. Bhakti can remove. Okay. Like this, have nice points. So like this, we have so nice points Bhakti Tattva Thakur is giving. So this page is also finished. And ignorance, the origin of desire. The origin of desire, this point we have tried. Ignorance is the origin of desire. The origin of desire. Where from desire came? From ignorance only desire came. See, what is desire? Seed of sin. Now here actually it should come like this. Desire, then this is seed of sin. Yeah, we have to put like this. Desire is seed of sin. Desire is seed of sin. Ignorance is the origin of desire. Okay, so sin is pious or sinful. Sin is pious or sinful. Both are sins only. Okay, pious or sinful actions. Sin, desire, ignorance, everything is completely uprooted by bhakti. The wise explained that there are 4 types of auspiciousness. Subha, affection for all living entities, being attracted to all living entities, possession of good qualities and happiness as well as other items. See, here suddenly they are giving Subhani, Prinanam, Sarva Jagatam, Anurakdata, Sadguna, Sukham, Iti, Adini, Akyathani, Manish, so, Yanachito Haristena Tarpitani Jaganti Api Rajanti Rajanti Jantavas Tatra Jangama Stavara Api. He who worships the Lord is pleasing to all living entities, and all inhabitants of the world, both moving and non-moving, are pleasing to him. So this means that the worshipper of the Lord has attraction for all beings without hatred, thus all beings have attraction for him. So that means we have, this is a separate topic. Suddenly the Kleshagni part is finished. All this time we were talking about Kleshagni. See, this is the first Kleshagni, destruction of suffering, Kleshagni. Now we are going to this, from this point we are going to Subhada. Devotees developing good quality. Bhakti gives auspiciousness. This should go in the next Subhada. This is a different topic. So I think we will make it, this is a different topic. Subhada. Subhada. Subhada means auspiciousness. So Bhakti gives auspiciousness. Subhada means auspiciousness. Okay, this is what is the topic is very new. Bhakti gives auspiciousness. So this is from here. The topic is totally different. It is talking about Subhada, auspiciousness. It's the second quality of Bhakti. Okay, so this is what it's. This is second quality. Tomorrow we will talk about this Subhada because it's got lots of things. See, so much to talk about Subhada. So here we will stop. This is all about Kleshagni has finished with this. With this point, all Kleshagni has been finished. Okay, so Bhakti gives auspiciousness. Okay, so okay. So wonderfully, we've Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given. Wonderfully, he has given all these points. So we are very, very thankful for Bhaktivinoda Thakur because without him, we can't understand what is ignorance and everything. So nicely, he has given all these points here. Okay, so tomorrow we will meet with this Subhada, auspiciousness. At least we have started. Bhakti gives auspiciousness. We have started on this Ekadashi. We have started about Subhada. But tomorrow we will continue. Subhani Prinana Sarva Janata Anurapta Saguna Sukam Iti Adini Akyatani Manishibhi. So tomorrow for Subhada we will be seeing four different Subhada qualities. All that we will see tomorrow. All this is coming on. Here we are having many points for Subhada, then Moshalagati, everything is coming. All the 6 qualities will be finished in this. Okay, so at least we have finished Kleshakni. We have started with Subhada. Tomorrow we will continue with this Subhada. Okay, Hare Krishna dear devotees. Thank you so much. On Ekadasi, at least we could do something. We went through the Kleshakni completely and we finished this Kleshakni. Now tomorrow we have to go to this second quality of Bhakti Yoga, of that pure Bhakti. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarupesha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Any important question? Today is Ekadasi, no? We need to chat more. So if no important question is there, we can skip up this question answer session and we can go for our chanting. If anything important, we can see now.